How's it going? Making up a green feeder for our chooks today. So I thought I'd just give you a quick look at the chook pen. It's nothing flash, it's a pretty basic one. It's a fairly large area for 2 chickens. They've got all underneath the mango tree over there. And as you can see, they're doing it in style. They've got mangoes to feast on. Hey sweetie. So they've got all this area in here during the daytime and around the back. They have some area in here. Hello love. They have their feeder, their water container, their old feeder's now full of shell grit for them, and they have this area in here. So unfortunately they don't get out and get a lot of greens, so what we tend to do is feed them a lot of the chard, mango leaves, lettuce leaves and bits and pieces like that from the patch. We have more than enough grass from the neighbours that we pull off and feed them from time to time. They get all the lawnmower clippings to scratch through as well, so they do have a fairly good life. And just recently they've actually started to get loads of black soldier flies, so I think they're pretty content with their lot at the moment. But what I thought I would do is make a little green feeder for them. So where I'm actually going to situate it is just in this end here of the chook pen. So the feeder itself is a pretty basic design. It's just going to go across the back of the coop there, and it's made out of one of these panels, these school fencing panels. It started off flat, and I'll just actually take you up and show you. That's it there. It's pretty much all finished, needs a few adjustments, but it started off as a flat panel, and all I've done is lay a board, well upside down that is, lay a board across the front and then bent up this little rim here. It's not high tensile steel, so it's pretty easy to do. I was going to use a smaller gauge mesh on it, but I decided not to because I thought if there was a lot of wheat or whatever we're planting underneath trying to push through at once, it may stop it from coming through the mesh. So I've opted for this larger gauge chicken mesh. I can nearly fit my finger through the end there, so how I've attached it is a couple of runs of wire along the top here just to hold it down. There's a run of wire to give it some tension along the back there, and I just need to wire it on a little bit better along the front. So the only other modifications I will be making is just chopping out the corner squares up there on the end, so I can attach it to the back of the chook pen and actually lift it up. It'll be hinged so it can be lifted up. That way I can get underneath it, clear all the old growth out and sow some nice new seed in there. Well, there we go. What do you think? What do you think, Greedy? I think she thinks it's a chicken trap. It's had a few adjustments I needed to make. It was a little bit too wide, so I've come along and I've actually bent both sides down so it will fit within the chicken pen. It's just held on the... Hello! It's just held on the back there by 4 zip ties, the large ones. I'm not expecting a great deal of weight to be on there, so that's going to hold them for now. I reuse all my zip ties, so they're not going to be wasted. They'll be used again if this comes out, which I doubt. It's just being held up there at the moment by a pot hanger, pot hanging hook. So I'll just show you basically how it works. Can I shut it up, please? Please, thank you. I've also just raked this down flat, ready for the seeds, so it's a matter of lifting it up off the hook and dropping it down. So there we go. Now the idea is seeds get planted under there, sprout up through, and the chickens get to peck at the greenery. I've got the seeds soaking upstairs in a container, so I'll come downstairs tomorrow once they've swollen up a bit and I'll sow them in there, rake some of this beautiful chicken yard soil over the top of it, and then give them a good water every couple of days, and we'll come back and have a look and see how they're going. Well, this has been soaking for about 36 hours now, and some of them, it's a bit hard to see, make out on camera, some of them are starting to get their little tails emerge. I'll see if I can find a good one. Just from where the roots first start to form out the base of the wheat, here we go, you might just be able to make out the little white points there. So a lot of the wheat too still got weevils in it, so that's pretty much why I'm using this grain here. We actually sprout this for other breads and bits and pieces and mill it up to make flour. So I'll just go into the pen, lure the chickens out. So I'll just show you now, it's pretty easy. I'm no expert at this. Just hook this up. All I'm going to do is just scatter them over the top of the soil here. Just going to rake some of this chook yard's soil over the top of it now. Hopefully it'll be nice and rich. It'd want to be. So lower the cage down. Now just have to give it a bit of a water and away we go. So this is the living green feeder. And chicken's more interested in what I'm going to give them than the actual feeder itself. So what are you into, Chicken Little? So there are some green bits poking out through the top over there, as you can see, just over there. And what are you pecking at? Oh, there we go. It appears to be working. And Greedy having a bit of a go at the tops. Not a lot poking through at the moment, but give it a couple of days and it should be nice and large. And there'll be enough for him to get quite a bit of a feed out of it, hopefully. Oh, just need to be patient, sweetie. More will grow through. Yeah, so I think it's a worthwhile thing, and hopefully it'll keep the chickens well fed with a little bit of extra greens. Greedy's obviously, yep, she's found some. Just pulled out a nice big strand. If they actually do pull it out, I'm not too worried about that. It's all the more greens for them. Just looking at a peck through the wire though, I'm going to have to keep an eye on how their beaks and their combs look. See if they actually hurt themselves trying to get through that small gauge wire. So it might be something I might have to change, but that's no big deal. So there you go, that's a living feeder. Keep in mind, you can use other things other than mesh. You could use a couple of bread crates upside down with the holes pointing up. Just secure them to the ground, because chickens will be able to move them. You're after my finger, nothing to eat. Yeah, and let the grain or the grass grow up through them, and then the chickens can have the green bits that poke out the top. So this is another idea. It's just a bit of a timber frame with some wire over the top, and the seeds could grow up through the wire there. The reason we don't use timber is because we have a bit of a termite problem around here, so I just thought I'd show you this. This is actually my manure screen, so that's what I screen my manure through. So, but it gives you the idea. You have a bit of a wall, just some mesh over the top, enough for the grass to grow through, and heavy enough gauge for the chicken to be able to stand on. So anyway, that's pretty much all it for the living green feeder. Any comments, questions, suggestions, drop in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. Other than that, have a great one. Catch ya. Gonna say goodbye, chookies? I think that was a goodbye and a stretch. Catch ya. This chook here has mango face. That's what mango face looks like on a chicken. So they peck in the gooey mango and they get dirt stuck to it.